there's 3 practical things that you can do to overcome any fear. The first practical thing that you should do is to Nike. Sorry, that was very corny, but you need to just do it. You have to force yourself to do what you fear the most. The problem with a lot of us and why we have these fears and why we can't overcome them is that we allow our minds to overthink. We start to create all these false realities and false scenarios of what could happen. And that prevents us from doing what we want to do. Back in 2020, when I was still in Toastmasters, I had the opportunity to speak at a competition. Now, at first, I didn't want to do it because my mind started to create all these false realities of what could happen. And I was overthinking a lot, and I was on the verge of not doing it. But it was people that was telling me, man, you should do this. And it was crazy that I was overthinking it when it was something I was used to doing. There was a certain point where I had all this fear built up inside me. I felt it and I didn't like it. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to think about it anymore. I've already decided that I'm going to do it. And I did. And I ended up winning first place. So we first have to learn the art of just doing it and not allowing our minds to rationalize whether we should do something or not, because that's when we start overthinking and decide that we ain't going to do it. And if we don't do it, we don't overcome that fear. The next practical thing that you can do is change your perspective on how you view things and how they make you feel. One of the most interesting things that I started to realize is that a lot of times we misdiagnose ourselves. A lot of times we think that we're fearful, but if you think about it, if you're fearful, if you're nervous, or if you're excited, your body reacts the same way during all 3 of these emotions. Think about it. When you're fearful or you're nervous or you're excited, you got butterflies in your stomach. Your heart is beating fast. You got your hair raising from your body. Or maybe you're sweating. During all 3 of these emotions, our bodies react the same way. So a lot of times we're not fearful or nervous. A lot of times we're just overly excited, but we perceive it as fearful or nervous. So this is one of the tricks that I would do to overcome fear. I would tell myself, I'm not fearful or nervous. I'm actually excited because I don't know what the outcome is going to be. The uncertainty filled me with excitement because things could actually go in my direction. Back to that story that I was talking about earlier when I was competing for Toastmasters. Before I could compete, I was just filled with nervousness and fear. And maybe part of that was because this was actually my first time where my parents would actually see me speak. I really don't know why I was so fearful. And that's the thing, you know, I started to ask myself the question, why am I fearful? Why am I nervous? It really didn't make sense because I knew what I was going to speak on. And maybe part of it was that I didn't know the audience and I didn't know how they was going to perceive me. I didn't know if they was going to laugh at some of the things that I was going to say. So I said to myself, you know what? Instead of being fearful and nervous, I'm going to decide to be excited. Once I changed my perspective on how I view things and how I feel, I was able to perform well because I didn't have that fear holding me down. I didn't think about what if I fell over, I stumbled upon a word, or I forgot what I wanted to say. The only thing that was on my mind was making everyone feel comfortable by telling my story and putting some smiles on some faces. The last practical way to overcome any fear is to surround yourself with like-minded people that want to overcome a certain fear. So for me, the thing that I did to overcome a fear, or you know what, it wasn't actually a fear, it was actually the feelings of fear. The thing that I did is I joined Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters for the purpose of improving my public speaking. For me, it was a great community to join because you are surrounded by like-minded people that want to be better at speaking. So for me, being in that environment where you're encouraged and you're pushed to do better and overcome those feelings of fear, it was a great thing. It really helped me grow a lot as far as speaking and being comfortable when speaking in front of people who I've never seen a day in my life. I don't know what fear you have, but I'm sure there's some type of community that you can join where you're surrounded by like-minded people that want to overcome a certain fear. I mean, like if you're fearful of something like skydiving, I'm sure that you could join a group of people that want to overcome that same fear. We don't have to live with fear holding us down and preventing us from doing the things what we want to do. It is possible for us to overcome any type of fear that we have. And I believe these are the 3 practical things that you can do to overcome it. Because these are the 3 practical things that I did to overcome all of my fears. Every now and then those feelings of fear do creep up on me, but I have the necessary tools to overcome it. It's just a matter of execution, and that's what you have to do. So if you want to overcome any fear, just do it. Change your perspective on how you view things and how they make you feel. And surround yourself with like-minded people who want to overcome a certain fear. If you're willing to do these things on a consistent basis, I have no doubt within my mind that you will overcome any fear. And those fears will not immobilize you anymore.